Obviously if you press play, doesn't it, or record or on. Anyway, something a bit different. I built a pizza oven back in 2013. Not used it for months and months. Well, last year. Needs a bit of a refresh. I'll be painting it soon. But what I thought I'd do is, because I might try and use it this weekend, is I'd give it a bit of a dry out. Ready for use, so it's ready for using then. So it's been stood here all winter, obviously. So this is how I build my fire. So basically what you do is, they call it a reverse fire, obviously, but basically what you do is you put your big blocks of wood at the bottom, bit of paper. You're not supposed to really use fire lighters because they taste or take your food. Well, this is the front of the oven anyway. I would tend to build it at the front first. Then once it's got going and you've got a bit of temperature in, you push all this back when the embers to the back and then build it up. And I tend to alternate whether I have my fire on the left or the right, and then the heat will come round. So let's see if we can get this going. Sometimes what I use is I've got a blowtorch. Sometimes use a blowtorch, but I'll put it at the front here, because if you put it in the back, the smoke will it'll snuff itself out. So you need to get some temperature in there, so you're not getting much smoke. At first you'll get smoke. If you have got a pizza oven or what have you, make sure you use hardwood. Don't be using pallets or anything like that, because there's lots of flavours and nasties on them. So hardwood, beech and oak generally is what I tend to use. So what should happen, it'll smoke for a minute until the flames start get going, and then it'll clear off. But yeah, and then what I tend to do, mix of small bits, piece of wood, big piece of wood, to keep it going. So you can regulate your temperature in your pizza oven by what you put in. So obviously if you put smaller pieces in, it's gonna ignite. You're gonna get a lot of flame. You get a lot of instant heat. Whereas if you have a bigger piece of wood, it'll slowly get rocking. So what's happening now is the main bits on the side, they'll start to ignite, but it's the top that's igniting now. And what will happen is that fire will yeah, I'm just getting it dried out, mate. What will happen is those bits on the top will fall down. So I built it in a way where the air can get through. Like I say, generally it will create a little bit of smoke, but what I tend to do sometimes is I'll use like a blowtorch, get a blowtorch and then really get some heat going into it. But after, give it about 5-10 minutes, that'll be completely clear. The smoke will be clear. Then you should, as long as your wood's dry, you want dry wood, there'll be hardly any flame coming out of it, and then you'll just get the flavour of the wood on your food, whether you're cooking pizzas, lamb, chicken, whatever. And what I tend to do, I built this pizza up. What are you doing after you? I know I'm not going to cook in anything. I'm just drying it out, ready for the chef. That's what I'm doing. I basically built this big enough. It's the base of it is 1 metre by 1.5 metres. Reason being is, normally it should actually be a lower dome for pizzas. It takes me longer to get to temperature. However, what it means, I've got more flexibility, I reckon, because I can get 3 roasting trays in here, and that's what I wanted. So there you go. It's going now, so there's less smoke. So it's only been rocking a couple of minutes, and we're already. What you got to do, I mean, it took me ages when I first built this. The wood I was using was crap, and I was just getting smoke after smoke. It's using more energy to burn, to dry the wood out than it was to actually generate heat. So that's why, if you're ever going to do anything like this, make sure you buy some killed dry wood. Unfortunately, this got a bit wet over the winter down here. But I've got some other drying out. But what you find is you'll know when your wood's dry because it's really light, and you'll get less smoke, you'll get more heat. What I sometimes put on as well is, have you seen the sawdust blocks you can buy? They are really intensive for heat because they're virtually 100% dry, no moisture in them whatsoever, zero moisture. So what I tend to do with them, buy them from B&Q and places like that, is when I've got my pizza oven going and I want the heat to come right up, then I'll put some sawdust blocks on. What you want, I've got a heat gun, the digital heat gun. What I also tend to do is when I'm ready for doing pizzas, I start off doing chicken in trays. Then as it gets going, I'll probably do salmon, and then as we go into the day, then I get into the doing pizzas. But I tend to bring the coals onto the bottom because this is made with fire bricks. It takes a while for them to get hot, but once they get hot, they stay hot. So you want. I can cook a pizza in here in about 2 minutes because the heat is that much intense heat. But you need temperature on the floor. So just because you've got the ambient, your temperature inside might be hot, you need that base of the pizza oven needs to be hot. Needs to be getting a couple of 100 degrees. The outside and the top will be like, you won't be able to register them on the gun. But as you go in the pizza, why I like the pizza ovens being so big, if you want to, really say something, you can push it towards the fire, and if you want to slowly cook it, you can bring it away, or actually cook it at the front, because here you just get some nice temperature. So that's why I tend to put the chicken in first. Once this fire was going, I'd push it back to one side, and I'd put the chicken on the other side, and it'll cook nice and slow, and you'll get a lot of flavour. You'll get a lot of smoky flavour coming from it. So my wife doesn't tend to like when I've done a full chicken in it, and the smoke really gets into it. You get a really smoky flavour with it. But until you've had a pizza from a proper pizza oven, you've never had pizza. I'm telling you. So anyway, Sunday's going to be coming over to mine, the Spice Guy. We're going to have a meeting, and what I'll do, you'll need to give us a few hours notice. I'll get this rocking. I'll get this hot. I normally, if I'm going to we're going to have a party in the afternoon, in the evening, I'll probably start the pizza oven about 11 o'clock in the morning. But I'll slowly, over the day, just keep adding wood, just a little bit at a time, just keep the fire going, and then that slowly warms all these up. I need to get a new door fitted, because I broke the last one. But what we found is with this, if I was cooking today and at night tonight, I put a door on, an insulated door, say about 9 p.m. The next morning it'll still be 150 degrees in that oven. So what I tend to do, if we've had a party, throw up a few lumps of wood on, a couple of roasting trays, bacon, sausages, and I do a breakfast inside the pizza oven. You know what I mean? From the day before. We've even done shoulder of lamb once when we had family over. Just put a bit of wood in and left it cooking for a few hours. There's a skill in cooking in a wood oven. It's not like gas or electric. You can turn it up. Gas Mark 5. You've got to know your oven. You've got to know how to maintain it and how to keep it going. And there's a skill to it. I tend to do a lot of the cooking. My wife tends to do a lot of the dishes, as it were. I just tend to burn them in. But my son Nathan, is an absolute dab hand at the pizza oven and making pizzas. So as you know, I left it running because I wanted to show you real time. That's the fire going, and that's because I've got good wood on there. It's relatively dry, and as you know, it's lit. It's going. So what I tend to do now with that, if I push that right back now, it could end up snuffing itself out, because it needs. What will happen is when you've got the smoke going, it encapsulates inside the smoke, and then it kills the fire. I mean, this time of the year it's not so bad. In the winter, you have a job getting up to temperature because obviously the ambient temperature is cold. But once you get in the UK over 20 odd degrees Celsius, what's that, double it, 40, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, you tend to be able to, you're all right. I mean, I've stepped away now because it's getting warm, but when it's at full belt, seriously, I have to wear welder's gloves because it gets that hot. I normally even at night, stand about this far away, and you're still getting hot. But about 2 to 3 minutes to cook a pizza in there, it's absolutely on point. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. It's just one of my little jobs. All this has got to be painted, all the rounds have got to be done. I've got to re-tile the top because all the tiles came off a while back, and some of my concrete, my heat-resistant concrete, obviously since 2013. Is now starting to be replaced, so I'll repoint that and it'll be bang on. But pizza ovens, man, build it. Have a safe day, whatever you're doing, and I'm looking forward to my man, Spice Guy, cooking on this. Not cooking on gas, cooking on wood, man. Old school.